Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with rcgroups.com with Jason Cole, who is also with rcgroups.com. By the way, because some people, Jason, when we're out and about in the field, they're like flying giants. And I'm like, yeah, we run Flying Giants and Heli Freak, and it's all, they're all different, but they're all the same thing. You know what I mean?
One big RC family of sites.
Now, who are we not going to forget at the
The
beginning
site
of this
sponsor
podcast?
or the podcast sponsor?
The podcast sponsor, CNHL. The question you might ask yourself is, how do you become the sponsor of the news? You email me and say, I would love to sponsor that news segment, Jim. And then I get excited, and here we are. CNHL, there is a link down below. You can click it. They have a deal going on right now. So if you need lipos and a deal, you can go do that immediately. There's no one else to thank at this point. Jason, last week there were so many people to thank that I didn't make a list, but I really had to think about it.
Big week coming off of Joe Nall. That's right.
Let me tell you something, the Joe Nall section and all the Joe Nall stories. And I always feel like there's more that can be done, but there were just so many people on the site wanting to get that information. So thanks to everyone who came in and looked and responded and did all the things. And speaking of Joe Nall, I'm supporting my, Jason, I said that I asked Cal to say FR Sky, and I was talking to the owner, and he told me, and I think I don't know. I don't remember what he said.
The best pronunciation has got to be Frisky.
Frisky. I like it. We may do this in the news over here when we get there. There's a video of me interviewing Stuart from HobbyKing.
Uh-huh.
And after the interview, I lost my big camera. I walked away and I was like, where's my camera? And then I found my camera and I was like, where's my bag? And I'm like, I look like a crazed. I just was like, what is going on?
Where's my stuff? Where's my stuff?
I rewatched the video, and if you watch me in the video and you're a doctor, you'd be like, that guy's dehydrated and hasn't eaten since breakfast.
I warned you. I warned you to drink.
Well, I drank, but I guess I didn't drink enough, and I was parched, and I skipped lunch, and I just ate protein bars, and I think that's really what was getting me, is that I was running on nothing.
You were low. Yeah, man. That's dangerous.
So maybe no. And I should know better because I've done crazy. Anyway, we should look at that video just so we can now take a look at me going, he's talking to me, and you can tell I'm like going, Hey, everyone. First, we have news of the week, of course, and then we have a crash to take a look at. And then we have some AMA news that I know enough to be dangerous about, but I have an update on that. And Jason is going to kick it off with this thing has a 3 in the name. What is this event called that we're going to talk about?
The sailplane contest I was at last week?
F3 RES?
Yeah, so I was at the Mid-South Soaring Championships, and it just so happened to be taking place in Triple Tree at Woodruff, South Carolina. So I was where Joe Nall was basically a week later. And you know how terrible like the grounds were from all the rain and mud and storms and craziness, right? They had that place immaculate when we got there. It was beautiful and gorgeous and amazing weather. Some of the best flying and soaring weather I've ever experienced. So Friday we flew F3L is the FAI designated competition format, but we call it F3 Res here in the US. I don't know. Basically, it's 2-meter wooden gliders that are bungee launched, and you have a 9-minute window, and you have to make a 6-minute flight. You can launch as many times as you want to try to get that. But planes that aren't super high performance like I'm used to with carbon fiber and the modern technology, is kind of like old school gliders.
Okay.
They still fly great, but it's difficult. It's more challenging in the wind. It makes it more fun. It's kind of a team event. You're on a team with 3 other people, and helping to retrieve the bungee, timing for each other, helping the score, call lift, that kind of stuff. So it's basically an all day run and gun, just epic time with your buddies, laughing, flying, having a good time. So that was kind of the pre-contest on Friday. I think we had like 40 something pilots in that. And then for Saturday and Sunday, we flew F5J, which was the main competition of the event. 2-day version of that, and we had like almost 50 pilots of competing. So really large event, and it was fun. I came in 9th place, which is good. It was kind of a stacked field. There's a team select event for F5J later this year at Muncie at the Nats, and so people were there's just one of 2 or 3 contests before the team select. So a lot of guys came out to practice and fly against the guys that are going to be going out for the team. But we had a blast. Triple Tree's amazing. I camped out in a hammock for 3 days. Had a great time. A lot of photo coverage on the thread there that Jim's showing you. People were jealous of my Segway.
Are you doing a feature, or is this the oh wait, somebody asked me, the Tennessee boys asked me, are you still riding that Segway? I guess you are.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's got to be 10 years old now or something like that. It's crazy. But
how old is that Jetty transmitter?
Quite a bit old now. It's still working great. So yeah.
What is
but
this?
Anyway, if you're interested to see more photos, so it's like we don't use parachutes on the end of the bungee for these. You want it to kind of come down basically vertical, because we had 9 bungees set up, and so if there's a parachute on it, it comes down real slow and the wind can make it drift over a bunch of other lines and get tangles and just a mess. So it's just something that makes it easier to find when it falls down. So you got to run out there and pick it back up and retrieve real quick in case they want to relight if they don't like the launch they got or something. Good dinner, good buffet. Just Jeff Carr runs the event. Jeff's been going through a lot of health issues.
Well, how's he
about
doing?
A week. Yeah. He was doing pretty bad. He didn't think he was going to make it, but about a week before the event, he basically did a 180. They got him off some medication that was causing him some issues. And he was doing great. He flew both contests and ran the event with some help. But yeah, it was great to see him and the family. It's just a great time with your buddies. So you should come on out if you're interested and check it out. Yeah, good times.
When I came back, everybody was like, now, where did you go? And I just show them a picture of Jace flying over the water with smoke on and hovering in front of it. It kind of says where, what the place looks like and then how big these dang airplanes are.
Yeah. And then that photo, you can only see the main float pond. You can't even see the 3D field with their pond and all that. It's just massive.
Right. It really is hard to describe unless you're there, how big this place is. And the weather was good? No
weather was perfect. Just amazing weather. And it's so peaceful and serene when there's not 15,000 people on the ground. We had probably less than 100 people total there. It's just so peaceful and beautiful. I was flying out in the field in my bare feet, flying DLGs after hours, just like living it up at Triple Tree, man. It's the best place to be.
And where'd you stay while you were there?
I camped out under the main gazebo. I set up my hammock on the main gazebo at the main flight line.
I don't know why you wouldn't just come to Joe Nall, spend 2 weeks there, man. Call it good.
I might do that next year and might come to Joe Nall and stay an extra week and then hit this event again. Sounds like a good time to me.
Well, that's awesome. It looks so nice out there. And it was definitely Mud City. I put my car up on ramps and pressure washed the whole underside of the truck. From all the mud that I picked up. You can check all that out. Did you say you're doing a feature on this, Jason?
No, we just have the main thread there, main discussion.
It's in Cell Plane events, and then Midsouth Soaring Championship, and you can go there and check out. There's more pictures from other users there as well. All right, let's jump into the news. I don't know about this, Jason. Where is this?
Man, I don't know. This was just the featured blog, right? Blog of the week, and it's by Jurgen. And it looks amazing. They're flying in some historical blimp hangar in France. Right. It just looks like, like seriously epic. If you look for that inside picture, you're like, what the heck?
I intimately know this hangar.
What?
I guarantee this is the hangar in War Thunder on one of the maps that I have played thousands of times. And that is crazy. I'm going to go back and verify this, but I guarantee This is the hangar in the map that I
Yeah,
got.
it's like some historic site, for blimps, and it's massive. Like, and he has some other pictures. Go read the blog post if you're listening to this. He's got lots of information and breakdown, and there's like RC hot air balloons and big, like almost giant scale foamy planes that can fly in there, all kinds of cool stuff. But
Wow.
I was like, man, this is just an awesome blog post.
That is awesome. I'll tell you what else I'm going to do. This has spurred me on. There's a whole when I say War Thunder, this is a realistic World War II flying game, although it spans from World War One to the 60s, I think. And
Yeah.
so on this map, this thing's in the middle, but there are other buildings and things on the map, and I bet it's accurate. So I'm going to jump on Google Maps, look at this guy, and then go look at the surrounding countryside to see if I'm actually all these other buildings are to scale, and just like what I'm seeing in these photos, that is crazy. It's never happened to
So
me
fun.
before.
That's awesome. Love it.
Nice. War Thunder. I just the reason I played is it's so hard that it's the one game that really has kept me coming back. I am really zoomed in here. I'm going to zoom out just a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's huge.
So now we have the 3D printed micro buggy. We've done 3D printed planes before, but I don't think we've ever done a 3D car like
Yeah,
this.
I'm just continuously impressed by the guys designing these things. So this is basically all the parts, including the wheels and tires and everything, are 3D
What?
printed.
Wow.
Everything, it's basically the screws, the hardware, the shocks, and the electronics. Or you can't 3D print that, but everything else is 3D printed on this thing, and it's so cool and cute.
I was having a talk with a guy on the line at Jonal, and he sells 3D print. Um, you pay him, and he sends you the files.
Yeah. Yep.
And he said that, and they're $50. And he said that he thinks about 20% of the people actually build them. But when they see the plane, they just must own the file. So one day they
Yeah.
could build it.
One
You know,
day. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think this is the same thing. I think this was like $15 for the files. Um, but it's like really with 3D printing, man, anything you want, like you can probably find a file and make it. So
are we to
pretty
the
cool.
point now with materials where if I print something and put it in my truck, it won't melt when it gets, becomes 110 degrees outside?
Yeah, you kind of want to just get the right material, PETG, ASA. There's a lot of different exotic materials, I'll call them, and that have different levels of heat resistance. So yeah, there's stuff that you can put in your car and it won't melt.
Do I need to have a certain 3D printer for better materials, or will just about any 3D printer now be able to use this?
Yeah, it depends on the material, but most of like the exotic stuff that's going to need a higher printing temperature and heat bed stuff, you want like an enclosed printer, like the Bamboo Labs enclosed. It
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
handle a lot of stuff, but then you have to worry about fumes and
Right. Porting.
ventilation and yeah, and all that stuff. So
Hey, I want to say this cowboy hat I have on. This thing got retired at least a decade ago. Um, when we went to the earliest events, I bought this hat new probably 25 years ago, and Jason knows I have a 26 mile per hour limit. My hat must stay on at 26 miles an hour, which is how fast my golf cart used to go. But
yeah,
this
that's
one
right.
got so old that when I would get it up to 26, the front end would
Get
just
some
start
flutter.
going raw. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, I got to retire it. So I busted it out this year and I'm like, I love this hat. You can't see it, but the sweat ring goes like out to here.
Yeah.
I bought this thing when it was new. That's just a
Nice. Bringing it
sidebar.
back.
Cowboy hat fact of the week. Okay. AMA and me, when I say me, I'm going to try and to interpret this based on my own event, which I have to know what's going on here. So on Thursday, May 16th, the president signed the FAA's reauthorization bill into law. So although the bill is not perfect, the AMA is happy that we're able to address many challenges. So I was telling Jason, I'm going to tell you guys what I know, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do after that. So maintains
Okay.
the 400-foot altitude restriction, but now allows for a process to request flights above 400 feet in Class G airspace. Class G airspace is 700 to 1200. So my event is in a field with no FRIA. And so there is a process where I'm going to work with the AMA to get the NOTAM to allow us to fly up to 400 feet, which we as pilots know is way too low for anything realistic. And then there is, when you get that, you can then work with the AMA to get the thing that allows you to fly in Class G, which is up to 1,200 feet. Now, it sounded like not a difficult process, but to clarify all this, Randy from the AMA, who always comes to my event, I've known Randy forever, said that he would get with me on a live, or not live, but on a video that I would then put on the channel here. He's going to walk me through what I need to do for my event to become compliant and do everything legal. How does that sound, Jason? That makes sense?
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, I think for the regular hobbyists out there, nothing's changed as far as that. It's always been 400 feet, always probably will be. But now there will be a process where you can request flights for higher than that. For instance, glider flights, just about everybody's glider flights are all over 400 feet and breaking the law to the letter of the law. So this will allow events and maybe even individuals to get approval to fly higher.
Which is what I'm going to attempt to do. And hopefully by next week, I'll know exactly what to do for my event in September, and everything will be awesome. And so it reads like everything's fine, and they're working on some other stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like nothing got further like harmful to the hobby, and things got like maybe just slightly more better, like
clarified.
Yeah.
And I also want to recognize Team Hightech. They did some interviews this year at Joe Nall, and this first one was with Grayson Elmer. You can watch that in our Hightech highlights section on RC Groups. I will be featuring multiple pilots in the coming weeks, so you can get to know who they are. You probably know them. And I think for a guy like Elmer, it would be awesome to see yourself on the internet, not only on Hightech, but on RC Groups. And maybe I moved these over on Flying Giants too. So I'm just highlighting, it's people like this. And, this is a young guy, and that's how the hobby just keeps going up. He works with Hightech. He goes to events. He learns how to be, crowd-facing type of entity for the hobby. And that's good for him, good for the hobby, and good for all of us.
Definitely.
It's tricky.
Love seeing more young people.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. And hey to Hightech. We have some cool stuff coming from them. Jason probably has something sitting around there in the room that we cannot talk about. Wow, freeze frame. We will, when we get permission we will do a reveal here, and we'll go over everything. And then we'll also have a full review on the thing of which we cannot speak. Hey to Hightech, hey to Suzanne, hey to Mike, hey to Sean. All right. So we have a crash.
This is actually a compilation. So you may not want to watch the whole thing, but this first one is obviously the header image. I thought it was hilarious. This thing looks like a beluga whale or something. I don't know.
Ooh.
But man, it's not happy with its aerodynamics. And yeah, look at this thing.
They were like, "You think it'll fly?" And the answer was no.
It gets better. Like, look how crunched the nose is, man.
I love it. I would hang it up.
It looks like a cartoon. So yeah. Anyway,
if it would have hit, it would spring back, boing, and fly back into the air.
So this is long, like 9 minutes of compilation of crashes. But I asked people to go in and kind of post their favorite one of the bunch. But we don't have to see them all. But that was kind of my favorite, like right off the bat.
Okay. Oh, that big boy.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to do this, doing it over snow is probably a great idea.
Yeah, super safe. Like soft landing. Woo!
Yeah, the snow would keep those blades, I think. It's kind of like the Joe Nall Lake, except snow.
It keeps slamming it into the snow, man.
Jason, I know we both flew helis, but you never 3D helied.
I did. Yeah, I never did like pirouette pyro flips or anything, but I did inverted and some of this at a lower level, way lower level than that.
This guy's not crashing enough for me.
That was kind of like almost like when you were learning 3D, like you like, I want to be able to hover, and be able to come down and like touch the tail. I wanted to be able to hover inverted with a helicopter and get down and cut some grass. And I was able to do that. So that was fun. Yeah.
What heli did you do that on?
I had a Raptor 30 back in the day. And then we did it with some old school brand Gazar electric helicopters, like 450 size electric helis.
Well, I can tell you this, the quads really thumped the heli market in the head, but it is full blast back, and multiple companies coming out with multiple helis, and Heli Freak is booming big time. I think people have this old view of heli and the way it was after the big hit, but it's not. They're out there flying helis. They're making helis, and once again, Heli Freak sometimes gets bigger on like daily users than Flying Giant. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm going to keep saying it till someone believes me. So we had all our Memorial Day sales. I put that out last week. Some of these are still around. You might want to check them out. There's links in all of these. And you may still be getting some deals here. Some of them are not. I do want to talk about NERC. This is a company that does a lot of heli-based stuff. And I thought this was pretty interesting to all the sites because of this LipoSafe bag. It's made just for them. That's my understanding. Cool. And high quality glass fiber can withstand 572 or 300C. And they're not super expensive. And these are good folks who answer the phone and will take care of you. So go check them out. And of course, the link is right here. And everyone needs safety. This I put up because it was announced at Jonal, but then this is one of the only planes that went live on the site. All of these were pre-release announcements.
Not yet.
We had a couple of users unhappy that they weren't available, but I think
where's the links? Yeah,
HK was just excited to be able to take them out in the field and fly them in front of a gigantic crowd.
Yeah,
and let's watch.
It's a good looking jet in 6S, man. It's got a rip.
Just a quick introduction into a new model from HobbyKing. This is the HobbyKing Viper 64. Now we do have a full flight review coming in a few days, but for now we're just giving you a quick insight into this new release model. If you're looking for a good, perfect introduction into EDF flying, you cannot go wrong with the Viper 64. Or if you're a more experienced pilot and looking for a well-priced sports EDF, then you're definitely going to love.
Let's see if we have some flight video in here. So, of course, this is at Jonal, and I forget if this was after I was there or before. But look at that. This thing is rolling on grass. That's
taxiing. Sure. Well, I don't. Yeah, Jonal is not your typical grass. Most fields don't have grass that nice.
I'll turn the volume up.
All right, now the sun is right in my eyes. We're going to do our best here. I'm going to take
it, Stuart.
Taking off. All right, taking off with the HobbyKing Viper 64. Taking off.
I like the look of it.
It's a good size. It's the kind of thing you just throw in your car.
Nice.
I think it's retracts, right? It's just gear hang down. You could probably take them off and hand launch it.
How are we looking? Is that better on camera?
Yes, sir.
All right. So that's the vertical. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'll come by. Look at that colors popping out. It's good on camera.
Very nice.
All right, and do low pass.
Shiny.
Low pass. Full power. 6S, remember.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's go to the site and see what it's saying here. If it's for sale or pre-sale. And then they have the Tucano, which everyone's excited about. What does that say? Status in stock. So you can actually buy this thing.
Shipping out right now. Cool.
That's awesome. So I hear, well, I better not say things that I've only heard, but they brought on more staff since we spoke last to them. And there's a lot of stuff happening over there. I had a good long talk with Stuart. In fact, that's what I'm here to do. We're going to go watch where I didn't realize that I was on the verge of falling over. Let's see if I can find
I
it.
can't wait to see it.
I bet.
I think I've seen it, but I didn't pay attention to that. So that'll be
Well,
good
I
to like
showed my wife and she goes,
focus
"You
on.
look fine." And I was like, "I do not look fine." Let's see. Let's go to one. So this is my event coverage. So I kind of tweaked this to make me look less bad in the video. And this is all the coverage coming out of the field. Some photos of the Tucano. And this we got rained out. So Jason, I don't think I told you this. He does the announcement, flies it when he lands. I'm like, let's talk about it real quick so we can get it out there. And just about a minute into it, it just starts. This is when the torrential flood hit.
When it rained, yeah. Wow.
And people were scrambling. And I had a video of that somewhere. Okay. Let's just see if I'm.
Hey everyone, I'm with rcgroups.com.
Okay,
We're
look
here
at my
Joe
rosy
Nall
cheeks.
2024. I'm just looking at everything to make sure.
Size.
Now look at my face right here.
It is.
I'm pretty sure
wider.
this is what I'm like.
It's when you see
that is not
or
how
hear
I
1600
normally
mil,
look.
What's that in old?
Maybe
about to
everyone
pass
else,
out, man.
Right. Okay.
You were about to pass out.
Look at
Those of
me.
you that live in the Imperial
I'm
land,
like bright red.
it's a big size model for that span. It's really.
I don't know. I don't know if I know myself better than anyone else. But when I watched the video, I was like, no wonder you lost your camera. You're like,
I just
done.
Forgot everything. Wow, man. Well, we're glad you made it.
Yes, I will not do that again. I will go up and eat a giant hamburger and call it good. Well, everyone, that is the news of the week on rcgroups.com. Be sure and check out Flying Giants and Heli Freak as well. And Jason, anything else that?
Yeah, so I've got one more thing I want to do. It's the RC Acronym Challenge. I came up with this idea today to have an article about it next week where, boy, I'm going to be posting a bunch of RC acronyms. You may know what they really stand for, but I'm going to be asking people to make up wrong answers about what they mean. So I'm going to give you 3 right now, Jim, and you're going to come up with what
wrong
you think these stand for. Wrong answers only. The first one we all know and love, ARF, almost ready to fly, is the real.
Almost ready to fail.
Almost ready to fail happens without proper planning, right? That's right.
Yeah, it's really straight line. It's almost ready to fly and then straight to failure or success. You might succeed too. It's
right.
I don't know. I'd love to know the chances on that.
How about planes we've flown a lot of that are made out of this EPP?
Electric plane poop.
That could happen during a crash.
Yes. Well, if you put the wrong glue, although EPP is very resistant to putting the wrong glue on it. And I have had a brand new airplane, used the wrong CA and melted the damn, I just said a curse word, melted the darn, it's brand new. And then it's like a gloopy mess. So
well, expanded polypropylene is the correct answer.
I don't even know if I knew that expanded polypropylene. I should know that.
Don't, yeah. I don't know why I know it. It's just random knowledge. All right, last one.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I was going to say polypropylene. I became familiar with that when speakers went from paper to polypropylene, and it's a big speaker component.
It's a brother to EPS. Different type of foam. All right, last one. ESC.
Especially stupid cockpit.
Nice.
So you know what? With all that said, I did know every one of these, and I did because we both worked at Hobby Lobby together, and these were phrases that were bantered about all day long. And by week 3, you better know what everyone was talking about. You know?
Yeah. And it really, we run into that a lot, kind of the curse of knowledge, where it's like, we know a lot, and then we expect everybody else to know the same things, and it doesn't happen. So we do get a lot of new members on RC groups, and so when we're out there making posts and writing articles, especially for me and you, and we start putting in some of the
Right.
RC jargon that
Right.
we know that others may not know. So
TX.
this article next week might help. Yeah, we'll have some fun with it for wrong answers, but then we'll also have the right answers in the article. So just sharing the knowledge and getting people more experience with some of the jargon we use in the hobby.
So look for that, and then also look for my interview with Randy from the AMA. We can talk a little more about flight height parameters and all the other stuff that we have no idea that we're going to be doing next week.
Good times.
Everyone, I want to thank our podcast sponsor. I'm going to also call it RC News sponsor, CNHL. Check the link below. Thank them. I just thank them for creating great lipos and supporting the hobby. And they have been around with RC groups for a long, long time. So I appreciate that as well. Jason, I appreciate you taking time out of all the stuff that you have to do during the day to hang out with us.
Yes, sir.
And then finally, thanks to all our users out there. I always say it, be sure and share this thing and spread the word around. RC News, the bigger we can make it, the more we can spread the word and grow the hobby. And that's the point of the whole dang deal.
That's right. Have a good week, everybody. Go fly some airplanes.
Bye, y'all.